Do you know, I know you're Protestant, but do you know what a Swiss Guard is? Those fellas at the Vatican?
Yeah.
One of my supporters is a Swiss Guard.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And his name is Marcus. And his question is, maybe it's too late, but it's not. How to court a woman today?
Oh, so here's what I think is interesting. I actually think the fundamentals have remained the same if you want the kind of woman that you want to marry. So here's what I'll say. The first question that should be asked is not where are the women I want. The first question should be thinking to yourself, who is the sort of person I want to build a family with? Then looking yourself in the mirror and going, am I the sort of man that would attract that woman? Now here's the answer you should come up with.
You're a Swiss Guard, so yes.
Swiss Guard, you're off to a good start. I'm going to say right now, especially if you're looking for a nice Catholic girl. But I would say I think there's 5 aspects. There's the spiritual, the intellectual, the emotional, the physical, and the professional. The spiritual is your relationship with God. Are you in a? Because think about it. When you were talking about finding a girl, we should be talking about finding a wife. So if I'm looking at it from that mindset, you're going to have to be the spiritual leader of your household. Are you in a position to be able to fulfill that? Now, you're never going to feel totally perfectly ready, but are you seeking that out? Are you seeking out the relationship first? You seek that righteousness first, the kingdom of God first, and then all these other things will be added unto you, right? So focus on the spiritual. When I talk about the emotional, what I talk about is, do you have your emotions under control? Are you someone that studies how to effectively interact with other people, how to have a conversation, how to, pick up on things, not just verbal communication, but nonverbal communication, right? But a lot of it has to do with self-control. The intellectual is fairly obvious, right? Are you and I don't just mean developing, like reading a lot of books, although that's certainly a part of it, but, wit and sarcasm and dialogue and things like that is important. How to think critically about something, without denying the emotional, but understanding how it plays into the process, right? Emotions are an invitation to thought. So if something impacts you emotionally, it's about being able to then say, okay, how do I properly understand this so I can address it? When it comes to the physical, again, Swiss Guard, you're probably doing the right thing. But again, I think when we talk about a man being able to protect and provide, the physical is a part of that, because if you're healthy, you're probably in a better position to be able to provide. Also, God forbid you should ever have to fight someone one day to be able to defend the people that you care about. You want to be able to be in a reasonable position to be able to do that, right? I think that's important. And then the professional is, do I have marketable skill sets to be able to provide? And I love, again, we look at, Christ had 33 years on earth. And most of that was as a carpenter. So there is an element of developing those marketable skill sets, because they're not only going to be used to provide for your family, but you'll be shocked too on how they can also be used to be able to provide and to speak life into other people's when they need you, right? So those 5 categories, developing along that. And then here's what you do. Look, I'm a dude. I wanted a hot girl, right? Like I wanted a looker, right? But I wanted someone that shared my values. So the pool of women that you're looking for starts with the ones that share your faith. Nowhere else, right? So no, there are not 4 billion in the world, or 4 billion women in the world for you. There are the people that share your faith. And so as you are constantly developing along those lines to be the sort of man that God created you to be, that he commands us to be, you're then going into the environment where people share your values, because that's the pool of people where I think you're going to find the person that you're going to be married to and build a family with. So I think if you have that right mindset, that's all important. Now, again, I want to be a little bit more specific here, because all that was very general. How do you court? The reason why I say start off with all of that and then find the values. My wife saw something in me before I ever saw it. And then as I got to know her, I learned how to court her. So depending on the woman, it's going to be different, right? But so we fostered a relationship.
You can't know how to court an imaginary woman.
I mean, there's obviously things that you can do that are romantic or things that are kind or whatnot, and there are universals, right? But if you're a man of integrity and competence, I guarantee you women are going to be attracted to it. Then as you find that woman, because you're in that place now where you have shared values, and You start to learn that, okay, yeah, this is, I want to further this conversation. As you get to know her, you learn how to court her. And so I think the courting there's general principles, but if you really want to be successful, I think it's unique to the woman. I think a lot of people give advice based off of hookup culture. I think we need to be looking more on what makes for a good marriage, and getting to know someone intellectually is going to give you the insight that you need to really speak in a romantic nature in a way that she will receive it and appreciate it. Yeah. So
I think so much of what we've said today goes across all stages of courtship, and that is the woman needs to feel safe. And if you're just meeting a woman in a coffee shop, what that means is you need to make her not feel awkward.
Yes.
You know, you need her to feel comfortable. How do you act in a way that other people feel comfortable?
Yeah. Well, and let's say this too, though. I don't know if you've ever seen this. I can't believe it. Have you ever seen the channel Home Math?
No.
Not a Christian, but he has some pretty good insights with respect to kind of how men look at women and how women look at men. And it turns out women have a much more complex system for grading us than we have for grading them.
I see.
But in the way he describes it, he goes, he calls it the bad boy metrics and the investment metrics, or the nice guy metrics.
Oh, is this that YouTube clip with the whiteboard?
Yes.
And then a woman did a counterpart to that, which wasn't as good, but that one was incredible.
Yes. And excuse me, I had my wife, good Christian woman, watching that. She goes, wow, yeah, he's so. And what he calls bad boy, what it is that it's the competence. There's a certain degree of danger. So let me put it this way: a weak man is incapable of making a woman feel safe. My wife knows I'm dangerous, just never toward her. Mm-hmm. So you're a Swiss guard. Yeah, you have the capability of being dangerous, right? So what I would say is a woman is first and foremost attracted to your competence, your character. There's obviously physical attributes that, again, men and women, we appreciate the aesthetic, right? But when a woman kind of naturally sees you as competent, capable, with good character, but also she knows that you are someone that she knows could handle themselves, like in an altercation or whatnot. That's when all of a sudden all the investment in time and the romance and all these other things, I think, factor in more heavily. And so I think there's an element of, so what I say is, yes, you want to make her feel safe, but you don't, the problem with modern feminism, they've told men that women feel safer when men are weaker. Yeah. Not only do women not feel safer like that, they're not attracted to it, and they're not actually safer.
Men, do you feel stuck in old idols or burdened by the pharaohs of our time? Do you know that you're capable of so much more than you're giving today? Exodus 90 is the #1 freedom app to help you become the man you were created to be. Exodus 90 is a powerful 90-day journey to freedom in Jesus Christ, and it starts on January 20th. I've met so many men from all around the world who have been blessed by Exodus 90. So download the Exodus 90 app today to join tens of thousands of men from all around the world for Exodus 90, starting January 20th, leading up to Easter Sunday. We all have pharaohs and idols in our lives, things that hold us back from being who we were created to be, things that keep us from love. It's time to leave our pharaohs and idols behind to journey to uncommon freedom in Jesus Christ. Join the men of Exodus 90 and Father Boniface Hicks, Benedictine monk and renowned spiritual director, who is the spiritual guide for Exodus 90 this year. We will establish daily habits of prayer, discipline, and brotherhood as we journey to greater freedom in Jesus Christ. So, go to exodus90.com/Matt to learn more about Exodus 90. That's exodus90.com/Matt to join tens of thousands of men from all around the world for Exodus 90, starting Monday, January 20th, and leading up to Easter Sunday.